So Boruto 2 Blue Vortex chapter 6 just came out. And to say that this chapter was yet again another phenomenal chapter would be an understatement. Kijimoto and Ikimoto have done it again. I think I need to pre-record this from now on because I've been saying this every single chapter, but they have cooked. But the one thing that has been very different in this chapter is the cover. This cover that we have gotten, this is my favorite cover of the time skip so far. If you remove the first cover of Boruto, it was expected, but this cover goes so hard. This is one of my favorite covers that Ikimoto has made. I really like Shikamaru's fits. I like the baggy pants, especially nowadays. Baggy pants have been going crazy. I like the color scheme of his outfit. I like the background. Everything goes crazy in this cover. The subtext is, the genius for the Kage is now leading the fire, hinting at Shikamaru being the one who leads the village at the current moment, even though we later find out that he is not the official Hokage. But we start off the chapter and we go back to these people, the two elders of the village. Somehow they are still alive. I don't know how old they are. You guys definitely let me know in the comment section how old they are by now, but they are still alive. I know they were in Hiruzen's team and they have been around Hiruzen for a long period of time and they ended up becoming the elders, but how old do you guys think they really are right now? But this conversation that they have is very interesting. Some people might think, oh, we don't really care about them and this shouldn't really matter, but I like when we dive deep into the politics because we always used to get this. We have the political aspects of being the Hokage and what comes with being the Hokage, several roles that you have to accomplish, and I'm happy that we get to see it here. I'm happy that we have a reaction. I'm happy that we are finally shown a reaction from the people that we don't usually get to see, because my only complaint that I had is that Naruto has died according to everybody. Naruto is the one who saved the whole planet, the whole ninja system, the whole ninja world, and we didn't get to see a lot of people talk about it, the political reason. We didn't get to see the other villages' reaction, and I think we're going to be starting to see it right now. I'm happy that we have the two elders talk about it and how Naruto being dead in their eyes has affected the politics within the land of fire. I'm happy to see that. And we also have Boruto get some sort of nickname, Boruto the Betrayer. This is very interesting. I like that they added that. So this basically confirms what we have been saying. Everybody knows about the current situation of the Leaf Village. A lot of people were bringing up the counter argument that maybe the other great nations didn't know about what was happening, but through this dialogue we come to find out the political aspect of Boruto killing Naruto in their eyes and Boruto attempting to kill Kawaki, who in their eyes is the son of Naruto. This is very interesting. I really like that they added this, and it also means that even if Shikamaru, as we see in this chapter, knows that Boruto is really who he says he is, the other people won't agree, and from a political sense they will still try and kill Boruto to make sure that the person who killed Naruto, the Hokage, pays for their actions. And this all goes back to the fact that Shikamaru has become suspicious, and it all started with Amado, the person that Shikamaru seems to have a grudge against, seems to hate for some odd reason. They always have that interesting dynamic, but when Amado, who is super smart, a scientist, started to figure things out, Shikamaru started to have doubts himself. Obviously he heard Sarada talk about it over and over again, but to him, for somebody who trusts his intuition, he would still believe that no, Kawaki is the son of Naruto. This is what he is thinking in his mind, so he wouldn't fall for what Sarada is saying. But now that we have another person who is arguably as smart or even smarter than Shikamaru, then he's starting to think, okay, maybe I should look into this. Amado also thinks that Kawaki is not Naruto's son. Maybe I should actually get a look into it, and this is what Shikamaru does in this chapter, as he asks Shido for the old records of Team 7, and he's trying to put things together. He's trying to have a logical argument as to why this could actually be the case, and Ino can see what he is doing and ends up agreeing with having this conversation being low-key, and Ino actually helping Shikamaru talk to Boruto. This is very interesting. I really like what we're seeing in this chapter. At first, when the leaks came, I was like, what? This is going to be boring. I thought we were just going to be seeing Mitsuki versus Boruto, but no, we're seeing some very interesting developments. We're seeing some very key writing that will dictate things that will happen in the future, and this part is very important, although some may not really pay attention to this piece of dialogue that we have been given. But we continue on with the chapter with Ida, who ends up telling Kawaki about the 10 Tails awakening their consciousness. Ida explains everything that she has saw. In some sort of way, code seems to have caused the 10 Tails to evolve. Kawaki finally knows what is really going on right now. and he doesn't seem bothered at first, but Ida ends up revealing some very key information that ends up getting Kawaki fired up, as Ida says that they are not only looking for Boruto and him because they are Otsutsuki's, but they are also looking for Lord Seventh, and that's the part that she just doesn't understand. They are going for Uzumaki Naruto's life, and Kawaki gets riled up and he says why are they going for Lord Seventh? What is their purpose? Why are they trying to do this? But she just doesn't know. And something that's very interesting in this dialogue, every time Kawaki starts talking, why does Ida start getting scared? Is Ida scared of Kawaki? Did she pick the wrong person? It's looking like she picked the wrong person to me, because look at how Boruto looks like now. I'm a guy myself, but let's not even go there. I would pick Boruto, that's all I'm saying. I think Boruto's a better looking person, but hey, let's just cut it out there. Let's just continue on with the chapter. But Kawaki, he doesn't understand, but he doesn't care. He's like, yo, Naruto's in my Daiko Coded dimension. If they come here, there's nothing they can do. There's nobody who's going to be able to go into that Daiko Coded dimension. And I think this is foreshadowing. Kawaki is too laid back. Kawaki has been living the life for the past 3 years with nobody really bothering him and with everything going his way, but things are starting to crumble. Kawaki's moment has come. He's about to get exposed because Damien is saying, yo, Kawaki, I know you've been running this scheme. I know you've been going crazy. I know you've been capping, but when he comes here and he says that he's looking for Naruto Uzumaki, what are you going to say? What are you going to say when they find out about the lies that you have made? But Kawaki, he doesn't really care. You feel me? He stands up. He's like, yo, I'm about to go take care of business real quick. I'll be right back. He's wearing his jacket similarly to Minato when he was about to go and pack up Kurama. But what ended up happening? Minato got packed up, and just like we see here, Kawaki also ends up getting packed up because Mitsuki puts him to sleep. Mitsuki actually goes and he puts Kawaki to sleep after finding out that Boruto is here. And this is very interesting in my opinion, because the only character I was kind of iffy on was Mitsuki. I knew that Sarada was going to have a role some sort of way, and we have Hidari who popped up, but Mitsuki, I really struggled to understand what he was going to do. But I like what he's doing right now. I like the Mitsuki. I like this serious Mitsuki. I like the art. In my opinion, apart from Boruto, the best character that Ikimoto draws the most consistently will have to be Mitsuki, in my opinion. Mitsuki, there's not a panel of Mitsuki when I can say that Mitsuki looks terrible. Mitsuki looks beautiful, man. I can't even lie. The way Ikimoto draws him, I'm really liking it. We're going back to Boruto, Sarada, and Sumire. It's a bit awkward as this is the first time she has seen Boruto in a while, and the hugging situation. But we see Sarada blushing, kind of confused, saying that her emotions got the best of her and she probably shouldn't have hugged him, things of that nature. But it's cool. We have Sumire who breaks down the ice, starts talking, and Boruto smiles. Sumire says to Boruto, oh, I'm glad you look fine. And Boruto's like, yeah, you too, I'm happy that you're cool. But then goes down to Sarada and says, yo, I didn't expect you to come jumping at me. I didn't expect you to come hugging me all of a sudden. And we have Sarada who's kind of blushing. She's kind of, oh, I was just worried about you and things of that nature. But Boruto gets a little serious, talking about how his chakra signal has completely vanished, and Kawaki will probably end up noticing sooner or later. He doesn't know that Kawaki has been put to sleep, but he says that he came here to talk about his master Sasuke and tell Sarada about what is happening. Sarada finds out that Sasuke has been absorbed by the Ten Tails, but she doesn't look too sad, and a lot of people do question why Sarada is not so sad and why she didn't start crying, bursting out and things. But she was the one who discovered that they are still alive and that something can still be done to protect and bring them back. So in Sarada's mind, somebody who wants to become the future Hokage, is she going to let herself be taken up by sadness and potentially rage, or is she gonna stay calm and collected, be the calm leader that she has shown herself to be, as she was the leader of Team 7 when Konoha eventually left and Kawaki joined? So she remains calm. She's not gonna start crying out of nowhere, knowing that she could potentially save Sasuke. So there's no reason for her to start crying, in my opinion. But yeah, we end up seeing Kawaki feeling Boruto, and Mitsuki puts him to sleep. A lot of people got mad that Mitsuki was able to do that, but we know that Mitsuki, he has some crazy hacks. I don't know what poison he put him, but it probably is some sleeping poison that has Kawaki sleep, and this is an off-guard feat, so it's not too much for Kawaki, but it doesn't change the fact that Kawaki is too relaxed. You know that Kawaki of the past, you remember somebody slightly touched him and he was about to kill him off reflex. Kawaki has lost that reflex, and it's going to come to a point where Kawaki He says, yo, I need to go back and revert to my old self. Obviously, Kawaki is still himself in the sense that he's very harsh in the way that he talks with Ida, but he has become a little bit soft, and we can see this right here. He has lost his edge because Mitsuki is able to sneak up on Kawaki quite easily and put him to sleep, as we later see in that chapter. Boruto continues to talk about how Sasuke sacrificed himself to save him and explaining what happened to Sasuke and things of that nature. He talks about how the clawgrams have started to evolve due to Code and what he has done. Even though Code is not an Otsutsuki, he still has Ishiki's karma, which is an Otsutsuki karma. Because of that happening, the Shinshu evolved into something that it was not designed to evolve into, and this has led to people like Jura, Hidari, and the Moegi clones to start appearing and evolving. Mitsuki tells Shikamaru that he's going to go look for Boruto and try and end him, and is talking about what he's going to do. What is very interesting is that you guys have to remember Boruto has made his chakra not noticeable. So Mitsuki, I don't know what he did and how he was able to find Boruto, but in some way we see that Boruto was found by Mitsuki, as we have Mitsuki who catches Boruto with his snakes in some sort of way. But prior to that, Boruto was in the middle of a conversation with Shikamaru, where we have Shikamaru prove why he is the MVP of this chapter, as Shikamaru goes to Boruto and tells him, "Aren't you Boruto Uzumaki?" And this reminds me of what Jiraiya said to Sasuke Uchiha in that anime slip arc when we had them go back in time and then meet the old gen. It really reminds me of that moment, of the mysterious type of moment where we're trying to find their identities, and we have Shikamaru who says, "Oh, aren't you Boruto Uzumaki?" So Shikamaru has broken out of the omnipotence, and when we say broken out of the omnipotence, you can't actually break out the omnipotence. Your memories are still going to be that, oh, it's actually Kawaki, the son of Naruto, but you can have a rational point of view with the evidence that you have found and say that no, this isn't the case. You feel me? So new beliefs can override the old beliefs that you have. However, the memory swap that took place will remain the same. Mitsuki, I really like this panel. This panel is starting to grow on me the more I see it over and over. Ikimoto really has been cooking. We have to praise Ikimoto. I've been praising him ever since the chapter, ever since the omnipotence arc. I've been praising Ikimoto's art. It's been growing on me even more and more and more and more. I'm really liking what we see here. The one question I do have is, how was Boruto able to pull out his sword when both of his hands were stuck in place due to what Mitsuki was able to do? There are two things that I've heard people say. Some people are saying that he was able to do that using his chakra, and other people are saying that he simply thrust his hips and was able to yank out the sword. If the second option is true, I truly feel bad for Sarada, because the amount of force that is necessary for Boruto to be able to thrust his sword that far is astronomical. So if Boruto ends up having any sort of altercation with Sarada that requires him to use his thrust and hip abilities, then Sarada is done for. And if you understand what I'm trying to say, yeah, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. I won't even go into too much detail. But what we see Boruto do is something that is quite Sasuke-like. And it does make a lot of sense that Boruto is able to do that, as he has mastered the Uchiha style. This is what I was talking about in my previous videos. Mastering the Uchiha styles means fighting like Sasuke, fighting like an Uchiha, using your IQ, using your quick movement, your speed, all these different abilities that you have, those hacks that you have. That's what it means to fight like an Uchiha. As if you pay close attention, all these different Uchihas have some crazy hacks, have those crazy like abilities. We have Mitsuki, who popped up behind Boruto, and it was quite similar to one of the fan-made art that we had of Mitsuki behind Boruto. It was just a joke at the time, but it actually ended up being true. But Mitsuki in Sage mode, man, the art style looks fire. I'm sorry, this art style is too clean, and I'm messing with it. Ikimoto drawing the backgrounds. I really like everything that Ikimoto has done in this arc. We go back to that spoiled panel of Mitsuki meeting Boruto, and it's glorious, man, and it's glorious. The one thing that kind of pissed me off is that we didn't really get the full fight of Boruto versus Mitsuki. When I first saw this panel, I thought that the whole chapter was going to be Mitsuki versus Boruto, and we didn't end up getting that, but it is still fine, because this fight that is going to happen next chapter is going to be crazy. And I still like the chapter without them having a full-on fight, because they do actually scrap. They do scrap. We see this beautiful, like, bro, I'm really messing with this chapter, man. We have Boruto using purple lightning, and we have Mitsuki using his snakes and trying to bring them towards Boruto. Boruto effortlessly uses his sword which has been amped with the purple lightning and cuts the snakes away. And I really like this. Boruto using his purple lightning. I think it's amazing that we see Boruto using purple lightning in this fight versus Mitsuki. But the other thing that a lot of people have been talking about is how does Boruto know how to use purple lightning? Did he train with Kakashi? This is not the case. We already know that one, Sasuke knows how to use purple lightning. We have seen him using it in the past, and he did it the same way that Boruto did it in this chapter. He put the purple lightning into his sword. But you also have to remember that both in the novels and in Boruto's card, he is able to use purple lightning. So for those who didn't know, here you go. But we almost get like this sort of half double spread between Boruto and Mitsuki. If you guys check the panels in some sort of way, you could see that we kind of get a double spread. Like the art that we just see in this chapter, we have Boruto flying up in the air with Boruto looking down at Mitsuki's snakes. We have Boruto flying in the chapter in some sort of Gojo way. I can't tell you, when I first saw this panel, I thought about Gojo and how he says throughout heavens and earth, I am the only one who is honored. Also, Kidomaki made this Twitter panel that is very similar to Gojo. Shout out to Kidomaki. He's been going crazy. And yeah, this really reminds me of Gojo. We have Boruto flying. Bro, look at how Boruto looks. You can't tell me that Boruto isn't the best new gen looking character. Look how he looks like. And he says, I promise I will save my master. Also, everyone that has been turned into a tree and Sarada. And he says, no. What was Boruto trying to say? He says that he will come back and tell Sarada. What I think Boruto is trying to tell Sarada is about Hidari and how Sasuke has been turned into one of the Shinshu, because she doesn't know anything about that. She doesn't know anything about that. And I think that's the most likely scenario. But Boruto doesn't want to say it in this sort of way. He doesn't want to tell Sarada while he's running away that Sasuke has turned into this Hidari dude who is a Shinshu clone. He doesn't want to break the news like this. Ikimoto really draws Boruto so well. I just don't know, like the way he draws Boruto is so amazing in my opinion. But we have Mitsuki who looks at Boruto running away, and I'm like, okay, we're never going to see this fight again. This fight got blue balled. I was kind of pissed. But we continue reading the chapter, and we have Boruto talking with Shikamaru, and Shikamaru tells him that he knows everything that is going on, but he can't act by himself because he is the Hokage after all, so he can't help Boruto publicly. But he says, aren't you actually Boruto Uzumaki? I really love that. It's one of my favorite parts of the chapter and everything like that. He believes that it is a genjutsu, but this form is omnipotence. And we know that in ninjutsu are simply replicas of different omnipotence abilities that we have seen. We already know everything about that. We'll probably discuss this in a different video, but this is very interesting. But Boruto's like, yo, okay, we can have this conversation, but hold on. Mitsuki is right next to me, bro. We're going to have this conversation later on because Mitsuki is right next to Boruto. And for some odd reason, a lot of people didn't understand how that was possible. We do end up seeing that there was a snake right next to Boruto that Boruto himself didn't notice. And we have Mitsuki who literally is right behind Boruto. And this is crazy to me. This is crazy to me that Mitsuki was able to keep up with an opponent who was flying away. Obviously, Boruto wasn't flying like super far because he didn't think Mitsuki was going to be able to catch up. But Mitsuki literally caught up to Boruto while he was on land, which means he has to go through different buildings, different trees, bushes, and everything. But he was still able to tell Boruto, which is very interesting. And Boruto finally says, bet. Fine, I will be a little rough, Mitsuki. This fight is going to happen next chapter. And next chapter, I just already know I'm too hyped for next chapter. Can the chapter come out today? No, because I'm too hyped with everything that is going on. I'm just loving it, man. I'm just loving being a Boruto fan right now. We went through the struggle, but I really love everything. I love the consistency, Ikimoto. It feels thought out. Everything that is happening, it feels like they thought about it during that 3-month period that we didn't have the time skip. During that 3-month period that we didn't have any chapters, it seems like they regulated everything. The story is going to be done to perfection. I am really enjoying everything that we are seeing right now. And yeah, man, this chapter, it is not, I won't lie, this is not a 10 out of 10, but this is like a 8.5 to a 9. This isn't a 10 out of 10. We can't get 10 out of 10 chapters like every day, but this is an 8.5 to a 9. This is nearly perfect. The only thing missing is just that we kind of got blue balled. That's all. That's the only thing that's wrong with this chapter. We just kind of got blue balled. This chapter is one of my favorites. My favorite so far is still chapter 5. I think that's the best chapter that we have ever gotten. I think that's the best chapter that we have gotten in Boruto time skip, but all the chapters have been 8s and above, and this chapter is a cool 8.5 to a 9. Yeah, I really love this chapter. We see a lot of Boruto's abilities. You guys let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But for today, I'm out, bruh.